Have you ever dreamt this man? A long time ago on old dusty internet forums, this picture had popped up everywhere and people had no clue what it was for. Well, luckily on like the first search result on Google, I was able to find the story tied to this. There was a psychologist who was seeing many of his patients, and all of a sudden a lot of them would be meeting a man in their dreams. He would give them such profound advice that he had to get a sketch of this man. He showed his patients, and voila, most of his patients saw this man. Stories like this are cryptic and exciting, but not very convincing of any sort of mystical experiences. I mean, let's be honest, the closest anybody has to a mystical experience or hearing about them is Jesus Christ reverse unaliving himself after being stuck in a tomb for 3 days. At least I think it's 3. Every once in a while, psychic mediums will have their own TV shows, and we're able to capture some pretty cool paranormal evidence on camera. But at the end of the day, what really convinces us of the supernatural, the mystical, are our own experiences. Maybe you'll start to text someone and they're texting you back at the same time, or maybe you've seen this man. Hi, my name is Zamira, but you can call me Mita for short. I am a psychic, just like you are. I have been doing this work for about 4 years. I've always been interested in the paranormal, was a paranormal junkie, and then later in my adult life I decided to dip my toes into tarot and psychic abilities. And it's been great. I've done plenty of readings for people, and if you're interested, I have a $5 special right now. So go ahead and check out my website, heyypsychic.com. So let me tell you about how you're actually psychic. First off, psychics do not speak to ghosts. Mediums do. You might be thinking, in the back of our minds, we're always like, oh, I can't be psychic, I don't talk to ghosts, you know, but that's a completely different toolkit than what a psychic has. And that's a huge misconception in the spiritual community. Psychics can read the energy of ghosts and give their human impression on the ghost's energy, but they do not talk one-to-one to the ghosts. So I just want to get that off your plate. It's easier to kind of really come into your own and realize that you do have some sort of psychic awareness or stronger intuition when you realize, oh, you don't have to hear and see ghosts to be psychic. It's a different toolkit. So what is the toolkit? It's our bodies. That's why everybody is psychic, okay? Our psychic abilities are built into our bodies via the chakra system. And little do you know, your chakra system powers your psychic abilities in its entirety, not just through the third eye. So all of your chakras make you psychic. What allows us to really use our psychic abilities, that tool that's built in our bodies and is our birthright to be using, that's why everybody's psychic, is self-awareness. So imagine this, okay? Your psychic abilities are like this. You walk into a party and you just know you're going to be spending all night there. You know that you're going to be sweaty. You know you're going to be drinking. You know you're probably going to be a lot more social than you're used to being, bouncing around talking to a bunch of people, like you're going to have a great time. You know, upon the first 2 to 3 minutes stepping into that party. Or it can be the opposite. You step into a party and you just know that it might be a dud. You don't know many people. You're just not sure if it's the vibe for you. You figure you're probably gonna leave in about an hour or 2. You just want to be able to say hi, feel it out. You don't want to be rude immediately leaving. You're just gonna be, you know, sticking around there for a little bit. This is a demonstration of you using your psychic ability. You're using the energy in the room. You're reading it and giving your impression on it. Okay? That's what your psychic abilities are. And actually, this is utilizing your clairsentience, your psychic feeling. You're feeling the energy in the room to give an impression on what you think is going to come out of staying at the party. Psychic abilities are like any other skill. You have to practice in order to play. It's just like basketball, it's just like acting, it's just like any other skill. That's something that everybody else has a misconception around too, is that you have to be naturally gifted to use your psychic abilities, when that's just not the case. However, some people are lucky, some people are naturally gifted, which jealous. A lot of people don't believe psychic abilities exist because it's just really hard to test, it's really hard to detect, and it's really hard to pin down, but this is changing. You can get your BS in psychic ability. You can now study the validity of psychic abilities in a branch of psychology called parapsychology. Parapsychology is the study of psychic and supernatural phenomenon using the scientific method. Which, yes, it is possible. Before you automatically write it off as woo-woo, I just want to let you know that there are plenty of accredited, highly ranked people within the field or outside of the field that back it up as something that should be studied. If you're looking at this paper, The Experimental Evidence of Parapsychological Phenomena, a review by Etzel Cardenia, it mentions that faculty from the top-ranked universities such as Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford, including a past APA president, endorsed continuing research on psi, short for parapsychology studies. You must be asking, how do they even study psychic ability? Well, I'm glad you asked. They've kind of categorized some psychic abilities. There are a lot more than what I'm about to tell you, but these are really cool to share too. So there's two branches as of right now. There's extrasensory perception, and then there's psychokinesis. So fun to say. It's so wild that we're like studying this in schools now. I love it. Extrasensory perception is an umbrella term for all kinds of precognition, which is the foreknowledge of an event before it happens, or not even knowing that it actually happened. Different kinds of precognition is like telepathy, clairvoyance, or even remote viewing. And then you have psychokinesis, which is the manipulation of objects using mental activity. And this can be done on a macro scale and a micro scale. The macro scale being on observable objects, and the micro scale being on unobservable objects, so being able to manipulate a random number generator. In this meta-analysis, we can see from the results of the various experiments presented here that all of the results are slightly more significant than random. Okay, and even though that's a tiny amount, that's still enough for science to run with it and say, hey, we've got to look into this further. It is so worth it for you to start brushing up on your intuitive skills and psychic abilities, because even if it wasn't for anything else, it gives you a huge leg up on your healing journey, which I know everybody wants to do. If you've been drawn to this channel, I know for sure that you're the type of person who wants to heal. You want to figure your shiz out. And don't get me wrong, psychic abilities are not the answer to suffering. Okay, if anything, using your psychic abilities to heal, it can be very painful because you have to take radical responsibility for all of the stuff that you do, think, whatever, and that can be extremely difficult. Hey, I want to make this super clear. I'm editing this right now, but of course, normal human beings, all of us, have to take radical responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and emotions. But whenever you're tapping into your psychic abilities, this can be on a more extreme level because you're starting to get intuitive hits about what you're thinking and how it's affecting other things, and how other people are feeling. You're getting all that extra information. So whenever you have that extra information, you have to be especially careful with just doing your best in being a better human, and that can be very overwhelming sometimes as a psychic. So I just wanted to make that clear. But it can really assist you with transmuting your pain into purposeful healing. And basically, having this connection with your intuition, with your spiritual team, allows you to be directed in ways that serve you. Just as we compare our eyeballs to the cosmos or our planets to the chakras, we are a microcosm within the macrocosm. And because of this, imagine how much impact on the world it will have if we all decide to heal ourselves. Our world needs it more than ever, okay? So that's why I have made this video. I want to encourage you guys to be comfortable with the mystical, be comfortable with receiving psychic information. Don't call yourself crazy. Explore it, have fun with it, and realize that it is going to help you in the long run to make your life better and to heal yourself. That being said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you would like to see next, or if you have any questions for someone like me who is working as a psychic on the side. So yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.